Many are predicting that the worst is yet to come, which is unfortunate, said one person here. Until now, they've enjoyed the reputation of being the nation's icebox.
Watched a burglar in his home this morning by webcam.
As a journalist of over 25 years, stories are what make my world turn.
Reporting live from the Dallas newsroom tonight, Jeff Crilley, Fox 4 News.
But in 2008, I took the jump from my familiar life and started a PR firm from my home.
We're talking about anyone with a camcorder like the one I'm using becomes a television network.
We started slowly growing the company, and we now have over 100 clients, and we've branched into the world of live digital broadcasting. I now own 8 different TV studios and have a huge team, and the stories that I now get to share are sometimes the most important of my life. Life has a funny way of coming around full circle. This is the Jeff Crilley Show. Well, the last few months have been certainly challenging for all business owners, and we've all had to pivot, including myself. To talk about that today, a good friend, Kelly Accetta, she's an author and speaker, and thank you for being on the show.
Oh, it's my pleasure. I'm so excited to be in your new studios.
Thank you. Well, and thank you for wearing blue. It matches our color scheme. So Kelly, let's talk about pivoting, because you've had to pivot as well. I mean,
absolutely.
As a speaker, they've canceled all the events.
All the events have canceled, and so what's been really wonderful though is being able to really serve my clients during this time. I've worked from home for 20 years, and so being able to consult with my clients of how to support their teams during all of this. And there are certain personalities that need support. They need that touch every day. There's others on the team that don't, and so how to differentiate and how to support their teams, how to do a presentation on Zoom,
yes,
without having something going on that's just taking away from the message and distracting. There's just been so many things that I've been able to shift and really serve my clients during this time. So it's been a lot of fun.
Yes. And you and I have known each other for a couple of decades.
Yes, we have.
And you wrote a best-selling book called How to Defuse the Landmines We Plant in Our Lives. And you and I got reconnected about 3 years ago. Tell everybody about that book.
Well, I realized as a speaker, I had been speaking, all over the world, 5 different continents, 34 different countries. And my focus had become female leadership development. And I realized that it didn't matter if I was in Hong Kong or Johannesburg or London. Women struggled with certain things: mommy guilt, comparison, bitterness and unforgiveness, things that we had control over. There's lots of things we don't have control over that robs us of our happiness and our joy. COVID-19, the political climate, things that go on that we have absolutely no control over. But these things, comparison, self-talk, mommy guilt, these are all things that we have control over, whether or not we let them into our day-to-day lives. And so I wrote a book. It's a quick read, and it's just like sitting down with your girlfriend who's going to be honest with you and tell you what you're doing, because sometimes we don't see what we're doing.
Yes.
And we need somebody to kind of point it out and say, why do you keep beating yourself up like that? And so this book has just been a blessing to so many women, and it's been a blessing to me to see women really take hold of these landmines and eradicate them from their lives and live a life full of joy and full of enthusiasm, as opposed to just that weight.
Yes.
that weighs on so many women in this day and age.
I believe I'm giving you credit for this one. You told me that a man has compartments in his brain and a woman is like spaghetti. It all kind of meshes together. Was it you that said that, or did I?
Well, I didn't come up with it, but I'll take the credit. But yes, I say that all the time, because men can have an argument with their spouse and get to work, and that's not part of their day anymore. They can go be productive and just be in a different compartment and be productive. Women, on the other hand, we're like a bowl of spaghetti where everything kind of overlaps and touches. And so if we have a fight with our spouse in the morning, we are thinking about it all day long. Why hasn't he called me? Why hasn't he texted me? Wow, maybe he's madder than I thought he was. We create all this in our minds, and usually it's just because he's in a different compartment.
Yep.
That's all there is to it.
It's a must-read book. If you haven't picked it up, you have to. And you've, of course, caught the attention of the media. You've done hundreds of interviews now. One of my favorites is one that you recently did on a survey or study that found that women were actually better leaders during a coronavirus pandemic. Can you explain what that article was about?
Well, it's really an interesting dynamic, and it's not a gender thing. It's just literally a survival thing. As women, we can't get to that level of either government or executive status. We can't get to that level without listening, without being able to really hear what's being said and think before we speak. We don't have the luxury of not taking action because, unfortunately, there is a double standard. There is still a very solid double standard. So if we don't take action now as a woman, we're inactive or we're weak. If we say the wrong thing, we're being over emotional. So we've had to get to those levels of success, sort of create this superpower of mastering the art of communication, which is a course I just came out with, but really being able to read a situation, read the people involved, and be able to respond quickly and authoritatively. And that's just come to a lot of countries' benefit. It's come to a lot of states' benefit because women are just kind of been preparing for a crisis our whole lives in business.
I love it. And you're an amazing speaker. We've got a clip from your speaker's reel. I'd love to roll that right now.
Accetta, a North Texan now for nearly 25 years, but she travels all over the world, speaking, coaching, offering training to women.
Kelly Accetta calls these the landmines we plant in our own lives.
Traveling all over the world, I have spoken to women in Australia. I have spoken to women in all over Asia. I have spoken to women in Africa, Europe, all over the United States. And something I need to share with you ladies, we all struggle with the same garbage. Ladies, your spirit is like a candle. When you light another candle, does your candle go out? No. The light that God gave us to shine into others' lives doesn't extinguish if we shine that light on other people and light their candle. It just lights their candle. Some of you would never let someone else talk to you the way you talk to yourself. Some of the things that we say to ourselves completely derail us for hours. You have to decide in your life, are you going to be a victim or are you going to be a victor? It's your choice, and you have that choice every single minute of every single day.
Wow. Well, I loved your quote about the candle, because you're right. It does not diminish your flame at all. Do you think that the world would be a better place if more people had that attitude that, share the gold?
Absolutely. It really, and every morning I wake up and pray to that fact. It takes nothing to spread joy. It really doesn't. A smile, a hug. And, right now there's a lot of people that are just riddled with anxiety, fear, doubt, anger, and it doesn't matter the justification behind all of those emotions. There is science that proves feeling those emotions day after day after day after day will have a significant negative impact on our health. Research by Dr. Caroline Leaf, incredible research by a lot of scientists that show over 80% of our health issues come directly from our negative thoughts.
Wow.
And if I can be a source of inspiration or a source of light to someone in a day, or my book can, somebody just said they read my book for the second time during all of this, if I can be a source of support or inspiration or peace, that's all I do this for.
Wow, this is wonderful. What a blessing. And unfortunately, we're out of time for now. We're going to go ahead and put your website up so everybody can get in touch with you. Truth.coach is the website. Kelly, Accetta, thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me.
That's awesome. Okay, that's it for now. We'll see you next time.